SMU Mustangs probably feeling just a little bit skittish coming into this one. Her team really played valiantly, bravely against Texas the other day, but you know, it took its toll when it comes to the injury bug, and SMU is going to be fighting that as they go through this one against SFA. But Eliana Salama, who scored her second goal of the season last time out, is able to make an early run into the box where it's cleared quickly by SFA. But for the Mustangs, I think keeping possession is going to be a huge part of the key to success in this one, as there is another injury concern for SMU, as Lindy Ungashik gets hit in the head with the ball.
Yeah, I wonder if it left her with a bloody nose or something, maybe, because the official very quickly pointed to trainer Georgia Tower and said, come check on the freshman midfielder here for the Mustangs. Ungashik went down very quickly, and yeah, right off the side of the head. Hopefully nothing more than a little bit of a ringing ear, and she'll be back sooner rather than later.
So after that knock, SMU Mustangs are already thin at some certain positions, especially the defensive spots. As far as the defensive mid goes, Nanami Hata is her backup there typically, but SMU goes ahead and goes with an offensive player in Lou Brusso, and they pull Sammy Nieves back to more of a holding mid spot, at least early in this matchup, 30 seconds in. Better start for the SFA Jacks this season than they had last year. 2 ties so far, including pulling one out against Sam Houston, one of their bitter rivals, and a big draw on the road, 0-0 against a Big 12 team in Houston last time out.
Yeah, and that had to be especially gratifying for the Jacks because, I mean, obviously you'd rather win than lose, but last year they fell 5-1 to Houston. And so to turn around and get the equalizer, or to end up equal, get the draw, obviously a much, much better result for SFA, for Ben Williams and his team.
Brousseau in and Ungashik out, and then the reverse. Ungashik in and Brousseau out after she gets checked out, missing just about a minute of game time. John Little alongside Steve Lansdale and our entire ACC network crew. And yeah, it's a late start here in Dallas, and great to have you with us along the lines. We're kind of getting that old Pac-12 treatment, right? Pac-12 after dark. The ACC has enveloped some of the Pac-12 teams in Stanford and Cal, and in honor of them, we're starting at 9 o'clock tonight. So we hope you're enjoying this one here on ACC Network Extra. A lot of doubleheaders this season for the SMU men and women, simply because both teams have a lot of home games, and you've got to find a place to get them in. It's a nice problem to have. How about this takeover by Eliana Salama?
Beautiful pass
to Truth Byers. Byers trying to get on to her left foot and get it back inside to Salama. However, a good play to come back on it by Morgan Donahoe, the midfielder, to take it away.
Salama's already shown twice in the first 3 minutes of the game why Nicole Nelson said she's never had a player who can dribble like Salama. She can dribble at speed, she can dribble through traffic, she can dribble out of trouble when she's sort of surrounded by defenders. And in that case, she split a couple of defenders and then was able to feather a pass off the outside of her right foot over to Truth Byers. Eliana Salama obviously is going to score goals, but she's also a critical part of setting up goals for her teammates.
Salama, a third run. Why not? Salama, who scored in back-to-back games with a little step over. And she is dispossessed, but continues to put pressure on the SFA back line early.
She's pretty relentless, and she's so creative. She's able to come up with a multitude of different ways to test an opposing defense.
Nice job by Nieves to get it back to Salama. Trying to distribute, attracting a couple. Out to Byers. Little 1-2. Eddie back to Byers. Throws it in front. Knocked away by Lydia Sattler. And out to the corner where Sawyer Kahuchek sends it well up the field. but SMU has made it a point to be more aggressive offensively this season, more creative in the final third. Salama, the best at doing that. And look at this step over, and she puts one up and just misses. Another goal to the upper 90 far post, just like she had against Texas for the third goal of the night on Thursday.
I was going to say, she scored a goal the other night against the Longhorns that I don't think it just fooled the players on the field. I think it might have fooled you and me a little bit as well, where she was able to get almost to the exact same spot where she shot from just now in this game and was able to sail it over a couple of Longhorn defenders and goalkeeper into that upper corner. It was an absolutely beautiful shot. And, you know, some of the fans may have thought, all right, it's time to pack up and go home, but she certainly didn't treat it that way.
Now, Salama with yet another highlight, scoring in back-to-back games for the first time in her career. And that goal on Thursday was the 6th goal of her career, and the 2nd so far this season. We're 5 minutes in. SMU and Stephen F. Austin here on ACC Network Extra. For the SMU women, it is their 4th of 9 consecutive home games to start the year. Most of those non-conference games, but then even starting conference play, it tipped their way, and they take on Syracuse and Boston College at home before having to go on the road. Good takeaway by Haley Hartman, having to be one of the rots of this back line. Hartman starting at that left center back position for Mayu Inakawa tonight.
Yeah, and she's been a really wonderful addition to this back line for the Mustangs because, first of all, she's a newcomer, but she's a very experienced newcomer. Played at Oklahoma, then transferred to LSU, so she's played in a couple of big conferences already. So she arrives as a veteran presence, plus she's got good speed and athleticism, and she's versatile. The SMU coaches can play her really anywhere along that back line. And anytime you have a player that gives you that kind of position flexibility, she becomes infinitely more valuable.
That's big against a Stephen F. Austin team that does struggle so far this year to score goals, and struggled to score goals last year as well. They really were one of the lowest scoring teams in the nation a season ago. Just 1 goal so far this year. The difference obviously is that they're not giving up much, and they're coming off their first clean sheet since 2022 with that shutout at Houston, a team that had beaten them 5-1 the year prior.
Yeah, and obviously for Lydia Sattler and the rest of that defense, anytime a clean sheet can be produced, it's just an enormous boost to the confidence, and you're even able to play a little more aggressively or be a little more creative in the back end. You have to maintain your defensive responsibilities, of course, but anytime you can get a clean sheet, no matter who it's against, that's a huge accomplishment for a defense and a goalkeeper.
SMU coming off the loss 6-3 last time out against Texas. And would you hazard a guess as to how long it's been since SMU scored 3 goals yet lost a match?
That's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. Surprised me.
30 years. Not since 1994 has SMU scored 3 goals in a match and lost.
Really? I was going to guess like a decade or something. 30 years. Okay.
There are a couple 3-3 ties in there.
Sure.
Over the years. But as far as losing a match, and here's one other thing. In 1994, they did it twice. And no, I'm sorry, 3 times. However, you know, it hadn't been done since. So 30 years ago, 1994, the last time that SMU put up 3 goals yet lost a match.
And they'll do it again in 2054? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe so. Just goes to show you how high-powered that Texas team is, as Trinity Byers came in, had 4 goals in the match against SMU. There was no buyer's remorse in that one. As Eliana Salama makes the run into the 18, Salama is in, and Salama has done it again! A goal for the 3rd straight outing for Eliana Salama, who continues to advance her SMU career.
And that showed a little bit of a different element of her game, and that was simple speed and acceleration, because she runs onto the ball, she gets a little give and go, and when she takes off, she's a good 7, 8, 9 yards behind 2 defenders, and she had the jets to get to the ball, split those 2 defenders, and then tuck this shot underneath Sattler. Beautiful play by Eliana Salama.
Looks like Liz Eddy will likely have the assist on this one, which would be her second of the season. You remember, flashback to Eliana Salama's freshman year, she was showing many of these skills, these dribbling skills that we see back in 2022, but she just kept missing the target. In 19 games, I should say she didn't score. Now, here in her junior year, it is much different. She looks like a player who can get to the spot and then is calm enough to know what to do with it once she reaches that final moment.
Exactly, and that calmness is a result of maturity and age and soccer smarts, soccer IQ. She's always had the talent. We saw that her freshman year in flashes, but like you said, they didn't always result in the same kind of plays that are happening now. And even now, even if they don't end up in the back of the net, she makes smart plays night after night, game after game, whether it's her creating shots for herself or offensive chances for her teammates. Eliana Salama has turned into a really well-rounded, really, really dangerous player.
Meanwhile, with Nia Rose on assignment for her country, she'll be playing in the FIFA U20 Women's World Cup. In short order here, her first game is coming up on the 31st as she plays for Canada. That's the leading goal scorer for SMU last year. That's the leading goal scorer in the conference a year ago with 11. So SMU's got to have players that find the back of the net, and Eliana Salama fits the bill, as this one does get slotted through to Kotayard, but she is able to start something the other way as Lydia Ungashik, who's done a really nice job as a freshman holding mid for SMU, is able to flip the field, and Nieves, it's knocked down on the play. It's going to be a throw-in for SFA here. Nieves still trying to get to her feet.
Yeah, she grabbed that right ankle and getting up a little bit slowly. And I don't know if she rolled it or if she felt like she got stepped on a little bit, but that right ankle seemed a little tender for just a minute. Obviously, if you're an SMU fan or coach or player, you're certainly hoping that number 6 is okay.
For the second straight game, number 6 in white, Sammy Nieves playing without a right knee brace. She had that ACL surgery back in the spring between her sophomore and junior year. Salama back in again. Salama looking for her second, goes right at Sattler, who knocks it down. However, she won't be able to swat this one away. For the second straight game, Truth Byers hits a spot and puts SMU up 2-0.
And that assist by Salama shows exactly what we were just talking about. She made a run into the box. She took a shot. It got turned away, and the rebound was not too far from her. And she could have grabbed it and tried to spin around and wiggle her way in through the traffic to get another shot away. But she saw Truth Byers in a much better position. Quick one-touch pass, boom. Byers, upper right corner. Gorgeous goal set up by a beautiful pass from Salama.
And in talking to Nicole Nelson before the matchup for Truth Byers against her sister Trinity, she said, you know, Truth is ready to write her own story. She's ready to break out a bit. And we have seen that so far from Truth Byers with a second half goal against Texas. It made it 4-2. And now this one to make it 2-0 in favor of SMU.
Truth Byers got a goal the other day against Texas, against her sister's team. And her sister, if she's not the best player in the country, she's certainly on the short list of the best players. And you have to think that that was an enormous confidence boost. She grew up, she knows all about Texas. Trinity has been there for 4 years now. She knows how good they are. And to get a goal, get her first career goal against a team like that, it just kind of felt like maybe that'll open up sort of a treasure chest of shots and chances, and hopefully, if you're SMU, goals.
12 minutes in the first corner of the night coming for Stephen F. Austin as you get a look at Sierra Cotillard, who made the start against Texas, gave up 4 goals in the first half, and then gave way to Aubrey Brown. This serve will be coming in from Ava Shannon, the sophomore from Atascocita High School. Pretty good ball right in the middle of the box. It gets down. Deflection ricochets off an SMU player, and Sophie King is able to clear it away.
And that shot from about the penalty spot is a difficult shot because you've got a whole lot of bodies in front of you. But sometimes when you're staring up at the short end of a 2-goal deficit already, that's the kind of shot you need to take, because when there's a crowd and you blast the ball in there, you never know where it's going to come out. And more importantly, neither does the goalkeeper on the other side of that crowd. So if you play for a deflection and get a ricochet goal to cut this deficit in half, that can completely change the complexion of this game.
Yeah, because this is an SFA team that has only been down once this season, and they were able to get the equalizer against Sam Houston in the opening night of the season by Ella Morgan. They'd only given up 1 goal in the first 180 minutes of the year. Now, this is a team that has given up 2 goals within the first 12 minutes of a game. Another corner coming up for Stephen F. Austin, however. And now the question becomes, how do the Jacks respond to adversity for one of the first times this season?
Right, and responding to goals scored, goals against, always a huge part of any game. But you're absolutely right. Staring up at a 2-goal deficit, the response is critical.
Ava Shannon again to serve it in. Comes from a big soccer family. Shannon's curving drive. The header is there, but not close enough toward the goal. Ungashik ricochets it back out. The service back across by Morgan. It's still alive in the box. And finally, SMU is able to clear it with a long pass back up the field. And SFA will reset. A couple good opportunities there for the Jacks, as they always look for Ella Morgan in the air, and it looked like she got her head on one.
Yeah, she's a terrific target up front, and there's a reason they go to her. And you're right, they're staring up at a deficit here, but they have created chances. It's not like they're just being blanked and taken out of the game completely.
Yeah, Ava Shannon rolls it back across, but Morgan Donahoe has it taken away, and SMU, thanks to their defense, is withstanding some of the most solid pressure put on so far by SFA tonight, as we're 15 minutes in. Rudden gets in the way of this one, gives Hampton a chance to go ahead and clear it into space and let the SMU defense regroup. Abby Hampton's going to have to be huge here this season. We knew that coming in. Now seems like she's going to have an even bigger role. And Hampton with a player in her feet, able to pick up a half clearance. This one up front and off of a bounce. Ava Shannon gives it a ride near post.
A really nice shot. It was from enough distance that Sierra Cotillard had plenty of time to just take a step to her right and snatch it before it got to the goal. But yeah, really good shot.
Hartman with all kinds of explosiveness. Has to play it up the wing for Sammy Nieves, and it's too far out in front.
Which is something you don't say a whole lot for Sammy Nieves. She's got really, really good speed, and there are not a lot of long passes that are sent too far for her to chase down, but unfortunately this one was close to the touchline and she just ran out of real estate.
Kinsey Rudden's been fighting through a knock, and good to see her get some rest here early in the first half. And certainly a capable backup midfielder in Lou Brousseau, who has been excellent early this season. 5'6" junior, the transfer from Iowa Western Community College. How have you felt about Lou Brousseau's initiation into SMU soccer over these first 3 games?
I think she's been terrific. She showed up and certainly doesn't look like a newcomer. She's pretty well ingratiated into the system, and that's not just because 2 of her teammates were also her teammates at Iowa Western, as Mayu Inakawa and Nanami Hata were. She takes a lot of free kicks, a lot of corners. She's a good shooter, has pretty decent pace. I think she's a really nice passer. I think she's a very important part of this midfield rotation. You know, whether she starts one night or comes off the bench, she's a very valuable piece.
More of an offensive player than Rudden, it seems so far. As Brousseau goes out wide to Maura Hummel, waiting on this one from her outside back position.
But she does a lot of that same box-to-box work that Rudden does.
Oh, absolutely. Just maybe a little bit more comfortable, slightly forward. And so It's something teams have to watch out for when number 20 is subbed in for number 8. Maybe SMU becomes even more offensive. And remember, this is a team that has already scored at least 3 goals in each of their first 3 games, and they've got 2 goals in the first 18 minutes this evening.
Yeah, gun shy they're not.
Wow, that's some good teamwork. Salama goes down, though. She's still down. The 1-2 for Nieves is denied. Sophie King able to play it back to Sierra Cotillard. Meanwhile, off screen, SMU's Eliana Salama, who has a goal in this one, finally to her feet and continuing to hobble around. Point, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a sub for number 9 fairly soon.
Well, if she can run it off and resume play, then I think you leave her in. And she looks like she's obviously trying to do that. She's clearly got a little bit of a hitch in her gait there, but I mean, we can't really tell whether it was an ankle or maybe a shot to the shin or something like that. Hopefully just a couple moments here of taking a deep breath will help her to shake that off and stay in the game.
Good poke away by Cassidy Long. Long driving in on the right side, the midfielder around Brousseau, but could not get much on the cross, and it's easily intercepted by Haley Hartman.
And we just talked about what a nice offensive player Brousseau is. There she shows you that she is a two-way player, tracking all the way back into well behind the 18 to help out on the defensive end.
Yeah, an All-American and back-to-back national champion at Iowa Western. And before this trigger in, SMU is going to be allowed to make a sub here at an outside back position, as Jen Jackson, who's played in one of the first 3 games, is on for the first time. She'll replace Maura Hummel. She'll do some work at that wing back spot. 20 minutes in here in Dallas, and SMU with the 2-0 advantage. Salama with the first goal, and then Salama feeding Truth Byers for the second goal. Meanwhile, SFA has put 2 shots toward the SMU goal. One has been on frame. Eddie tries to steer it back out front, but didn't see Ava Shannon lurking. Shannon starts a control break back the other way. But Shannon's going to get it right back. An outstanding midfielder for the Jacks. Shannon crossing over out front, but dispossessed by the freshman Ungashik. Shannon Black, all freshman team last year. Started all 18 games with a goal and 3 assists. Good run by Sawyer Kahutek. There are a lot, kind of similar to the Texas game the other day. There are a ton of Stephen F. Austin players who are from this Dallas area, so you will have a lot of family and friends really getting up and cheering for these SFA Jacks in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of purple and white in the stands tonight here in Dallas.
As SMU brings in Emma Alvord for Byers, and that will move Liz Eddy to the striker position or Salama to the striker position, one or the other. Macy Johnson is in for the initial time. Meanwhile, on the other side for SFA, wearing number 20.
At the moment, Salama is at the striker and Liz Eddy is over on the left wing, but by adding Emma Alvord, the fast SMU offense just got faster.
It's good to see that Salama was able to walk it off, as you mentioned, and you were recommending stay on the field.
I mean, if you can, right? Nobody wants to come off the field.
Hampton the initial touch on this one, and then off to Nieves. However, a takeaway by the Jacks, and what a nice job to stay on this ball. SMU trying to do a good job team defensively, but Jack's player was just able to go in and out and in and out over and over again.
Yeah, that was Erin Morgan, who didn't seem phased at all by the presence of 2 white jerseys in the vicinity. And she tried to outrun one of them, and then she cut back and actually split the 2 of them, kept possession. Terrific run by Morgan.
Here's Emma Alvord looking wide out to Liz Eddy. Eddie back toward the middle, trying to slide it across. Doesn't get through to Salama, but now one will. Salama trying to go for the Meg. She does, but then has it knocked away. 22 minutes left in the first half. The players will be sent off for a hydration break on a warm night in Dallas. We're closely watching that wet bulb this evening. And with it being 88 degrees and with the humidity at 54%, this is a night where, yes, we say thumbs up to hydration. 2-0 advantage for SMU over SFA. You're watching ACC Network Extra.
Sorry, honey, it's a work thing.
Mine's also a work thing. I just need someone to cover my shift.
So is mine. Alan says your business vehicle is now covered with Progressive.
Protected 24/7, just like your home and auto.
Oh, that's great.
So dinner time's just phone time now?
Sorry. You know, I heard that ground turkey is the healthiest poultry.
You know what? Never mind. Just be on your phones.
Thank you.
Coca-Cola to serve.
The pasta taste you love with the energy you want. Barilla Protein Plus.
We went first last time.
We're not here to win a championship. We're here to have fun.
This year's Player of the Year, everyone.
Here we go again. Both teams running up the clock to secure the tie. Now this is basketball.
PlayStation.
Welcome back into Dallas. Ben Williams trying to light a little fire under his team. First season as SFA head coach for Coach Williams. He was an associate at UTSA last year, an assistant at Miami of Ohio before then, but has come in and really turned around the whole thought process of this team coming into the season. And it's obvious that this once proud program that fell to the doldrums of the WAC last year feels like they've got the next right person for the job.
Yeah, and part of any program rebuild obviously is acquisition of talent, and from his time at UTSA, Coach Williams has a lot of connections in Texas, and he has been working those connections with high school coaches, club coaches, and already building up, incoming recruits for the years ahead. And any coach will tell you that the better your players are, the better you look as a coach. He's a pretty good coach as it is, and as the talent level goes up and he's able to increase that, the success and the results will only come with it.
For SFA, they're hunting that first goal of the night and their second goal of the season. But already a much better feel to the start of 2024 than they experienced in 2023. I say this is a once proud program for sure, especially back in the Southland days. SFA was the team to beat. Of course, the Jacks in the offseason, similar to what SMU did, moving conferences. They are in a new conference, going back to the Southland after a few years in the WAC, and got a foul on SMU here to give SFA a restart. So
but there are two players down. Here you see Lou Brosseau go down, and she was quite slow getting up.
No foul on that one.
No, it was actually a moment later that SMU got whistled for it.
Here's Jen Jackson. She was called for the foul. So off the restart, here's Ava Shannon. Shannon, a drive toward that back post, and running in on that backside, Maddie Bowers had a step on her defender, but Sierra Cotillard wins the race.
And Cotillard looked for just a moment like she was going to try a very fast outlet pass when she saw Emma Alvord over on the right side. And
Rousseau slots one into Nieves. Sorry about that, Steve.
No,
Certainly
that's
looked
all right.
like a scoring chance.
It did, and it looked like I believe that was Brousseau. Good to see her back up and running, but Brousseau and Alver a little bit on different pages on that last thread through the box.
But as you were saying about Sierra Cotillard, you know, a big part of this SMU team this year will be building out of the back and those decisions by the keeper. And SMU really likes the way that Sierra Cotillard can distribute from her position.
Yeah, she has a good arm and an accurate arm, and in that case, she had the wisdom to hold the ball for just a second. She looked like she was going to try to flick one out there very quickly, paused, and then ended up still going the same direction with the ball, but she was able to pause and wait for some of her teammates to get in a better position to try to carry the ball forward through the middle third.
Good collision between Bowers and Salama. Ends up being Salama to pick up the foul here. Salama with a great start to this one with a goal and an assist. Two players that used to do battle actually in the AAC against one another when Bowers was at the University of Houston a few years back, and Salama was playing here for SMU in her freshman year. Bowers 4 years at the University of Houston. It had to feel good to lead her team to a draw. Last time out on the road as they went down to Houston.
That's exactly right. She probably was too professional to say anything, but don't you think she probably had a thought in her mind like, are you sure you're glad you let me go?
Exactly. Little takeaway by the Jacks. Shannon slides it up top, a little bit of space. Aaron Morgan steps on it, wings it out wide to Kahuptek, but it gets taken away by Jen Jackson to eliminate the chance for SFA.
I've been really impressed so far with Aaron Morgan. She's been a very visible presence in that midfield for the Jacks, not just carrying the ball forward, although she has certainly done that a couple of times, including that one long run down the left side where she got past a couple of defenders. But more than anything, she's gaining and holding possession in that middle third, which is so critically important. Transition offense and defense are big, but possession is the law of the land, and Aaron Morgan's been great so far in that regard.
It was a good ball in the direction of Hargrove, but Jen Jackson was able to grab the advantage, and Hargrove called for the foul. And well, like you say on Aaron Morgan, just a terrific story, and one of the great stories for SFA is just those sisters playing next to each other at the center back spot. Aaron and Ella, who played together at Allen as well, and also for Defeaters Kicks SC here in the North Texas region. Aaron went on to Oklahoma State for a year, but after playing limited minutes for Oklahoma State in her initial season, decided to transfer into SFA, and she certainly looks like somebody who could be an all-conference performer in the Southland. There's Eliana Salama going 1v3. Salama is so tough to stop her. Finally, Ella Morgan eliminates the chance. Or rather, that was Avery Brandt.
You've got to think some of the cheers for Stephen F. Austin that are heard tonight are from the Morgan friends and family who came down 75 from Allen to the game tonight in Dallas.
Oh, no doubt about it. Sophie King's serve out to Emma Alvord, looking to create. Alvord has it swung away by Sawyer Kahuptek. And a throw in by SMU's Jackson. Jackson looking for Brousseau. The ball not there. Still Salama takes it away, serves it in, and nobody home. Goal kick for SFA.
If you watch SMU play, I think it's a little bit surprising. Obviously, Eliana Salama is one of the players who's going to get your attention. She shoots a lot, she scores goals, she can dribble in and out of traffic. But she also absorbs some contact, and she is not the biggest player in the world. She is listed at 5'3", and she absorbs some pretty serious contact and rarely goes down. I'm not saying she knocks the other player down, but she's able to take a hit, and she's very strong and has really good balance.
No doubt. I think balance is the key word. Hargrove, that great run, and then the toe poke drive right at Sierra Cotillard. Lily Hargrove hunting her first goal of the season.
Yeah, nice run by Hargrove, splitting between Hampton and Hartman, and then gives it a ride from about 21, 22 yards out. With no teammates coming on either side, though, Sierra Cotillard knew that a shot was coming and positioned herself perfectly and had plenty of time to read it.
The advantage for SMU, that foul, a potential foul, was a play on. SMU back in possession. Lily Hargrove, another player from right here in North Texas, out of Plano West High School, and played for Solar, ECNL. 8 career goals for SFA. One of their leading goal scorers of the returners. Jamie Bailey leads in that respect with 11. Liz Eddy turns toward the goal. Eddy trying to cross over on Maisie Johnson, and Johnson is able to steer it away into touch. More local players coming into the match for Stephen F. Austin as they go into the bench. And to Alex Bayouth, who's actually from just north of the Red in Edmond, Oklahoma. But you got a couple other players coming in as well. Kelly Gordon for SMU in place of Liz Eddy. Gordon has a goal early this season.
It might almost be more newsworthy to start identifying the Stephen F. players who are not from the Metroplex. At quick count, depending on how many suburbs you want to attach to the DFW Metroplex, there's anywhere from 18 to 20 players just from this area on this team.
I think Durant, Oklahoma is now in the Metroplex, so that's a really good point by you. But Brielle Buchanan also came in along with Cameron Giles, and they're both from Collin County, Salina and Frisco, respectively. And those certainly would be attached to the 8 million people in the North Texas region.
Yeah, Flower Mound, Dallas, Salina, Allen, Frisco, McKinney, Prosper. I mean, the whole area is represented on this SFA roster.
Yeah, kind of sounded like a Johnny Cash song about the Metroplex is breaking out or something like that.
Well, and what it also says is there's a truckload of talent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a reason that coaches from around the country descend upon this area looking for players every year.
Cotillard goes high and cradles one. And on the restart sees Lou Brousseau out in front. Yeah, Ben Williams is not going to be afraid to recruit this area. He's got ties to this area as well. He was actually discovered at Dallas Cup here back in his playing days. And his host family was in Richardson as well. And they actually happen to have the last name of Williams as well. So this is a very special place for Ben Williams.
And they are still very, very close. And he said that his host family from his playing days at Dallas Cup, his host family is here tonight.
That's outstanding. He's a Liverpool native. Played 4 years at Oklahoma Wesleyan up in Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Is Liverpool in the Metroplex?
It is now. Just a short 6-hour flight. SMU with a takeaway, and this is the very dangerous Emma Alvord assessing the situation, yet 1v1 Sawyer Kahutek rips it away and plays a long ball up that left side. Cotillard comes way out of the goal to make sure that Alex Bayouth can't run onto it.
If I'm the coach, I have a small heart attack when my goalie comes that far off the line, but she made the absolute smart play. She saw the offensive player coming, and I thought for a minute she might try to cut back against the grain and play the ball upfield. Cotillard eliminated any chance of a mistake, got there, got to the ball first, and just drilled it out of bounds. Yes, you give up a throw in, but you live to fight another day.
Exactly. As SMU tries to work through this early season keeper logjam. About 4 keepers in the mix coming into the season. Cotillard, who is the graduate student transfer from Arkansas, winning the spot, but Aubrey Brown has played a lot. Haven Empey has played as well. Throw in into the box, knocked down by Hartman, and then King serves it into space. Another ball over the top. This is a long run, but getting to it is SFA and Cameron Giles, and Sophie King is going to let their defense recollect on a corner.
Sophie King, such a smart positional defender, didn't flinch at all with going one-on-one that close to her own goal. Paused for half a second and then just poked it over the end line.
Making sure everybody is marked on this corner, and you see SFA with an interesting alignment on this corner kick. Now everybody's coming in, and on that header by Ella Morgan, it gets saved off the line by Lou Brousseau. Wow, Brousseau in the right place for a back save. Good positional soccer by SMU.
Here you see the corner, and there's the shot. And yes, I mean, that's the job of those outside defenders, right? Pin yourself to the inside of the post and basically narrow the cage for your keeper. And she stayed right on the post, took one step forward and knocked it clear.
On the second look, especially from that high cam, and we've got several different looks this year with our ACC network cameras, it certainly looked like Cotillard was in line to reach it and knew which way it was headed, but Brousseau being there as the extra line of defense helps SMU clear one away, as Ella Morgan, who has the only goal this season for SFA, had a head-on one. Here's Sophie King in a dangerous spot, coming in on the wing, serves one in front. That is headed away, as there's a Morgan almost everywhere on the field, it seems, for Stephen F. Austin. This time again, it's Ella.
Are there any more in the family that Ben Williams and his staff can recruit?
Well, their sister Emily ran cross country at Belmont, so she has moved on from her soccer playing days. Sammy Nieves. Nieves turning back. Good touch by Kelly Gordon inside, but Brousseau has it knocked away by Ava Shannon.
It's one of those families where if I'm a coach of just about any sport, I'm recruiting out of that family.
There are some of those families where there's just
good at everything.
Yeah. Yes. There's a run for Tori Peterson. She gets it inside to Kelly Gordon. Gordon still on it, strong with the ball. Dumps it back to Mata. Mata's being aggressive, lays it off, and this drive by Emma Alvord will result in a corner kick for SMU.
And that corner kick was a result of Alvord's speed, because Mata's pass off to the side was a little bit slow, but Emma Alvord accelerates so quickly she was able to get there, not in time to get across into the middle, but to blast that ball off a defender's leg and teeing up a corner for Lou Brousseau over at the northeast corner of the field in front of Moody Coliseum.
I like how Brousseau sets it up with her left, and then she goes to her right. It's like, all right, this is where it needs to be. She's got that ambidextrous look. Brousseau goes up top. Peterson knocks it down, but couldn't do anything with it. Jen Jackson falls down, and so there's kind of a 1v2 here. Sophie King is back, and here's a rush for SFA ahead. Drive in by Brielle Buchanan. Slots one left, and the cross is played into the air, and Cotillard knocks it to herself after that drive in by Ava Shannon.
And she did, because I think it played off an SMU defender, and so Cotillard had to change directions. You see the ball crossed into the middle here, and yes, it deflected, actually deflected off of two defenders, Abby Hampton the last one, and suddenly it was spinning toward the goal. Cotillard was absolutely alert and ready for it, and took a couple steps off her line and grabbed it out of the air before any more trouble could unfold.
SMU's goals came early. Eliana Salama with the first, and then it was Truth Byers off a Salama assist. Jen Jackson slides onto this one, off to Brousseau, but it is overtaken by the offensively minded Ella Morgan, the center back with the run, but Emma Alvord's going to chase down almost everyone.
Nice little touch by Brousseau to keep possession, just enough of a knock to get it around a defender, and then allow her teammates to carry forward.
Nieves making a run. She gets it, but with no advantage, and then left it behind her. That was a really good ball by Hata. Nieves just missed with that right foot to keep it around.
Yeah, she looked over to Hata and gave her a little nod as if to say, you made the right pass. That one's on me.
Well, Hata's staying on this one. Run to the end line and slots it across. Her old teammate Brousseau in the area. It's not fully cleared. Here goes Peterson. Peterson's going to get it back as SMU looks for more offense. 5.5 left in the first half. Nieves down low for Kelly Gordon. Finally stripped away by SFA's Ella Morgan, who continues to be in the right place at the right time, making her 29th career start for SFA tonight. Substitution for the Jacks, bringing in Alexa Alvarez for Morgan. And Alvarez, you'll never guess, is from the North Texas area. She's an Arlington kid.
What a shock. Again, I'm telling you, we should be announcing only the ones who aren't from the DFW area. They're a lot more fewer and farther between.
Felt that way when not the team from Nacogdoches, but the team from Natchitoches came to town in Northwestern State.
Yep.
They had a baker's dozen players from this area. Of course, Texas is the exact same thing, and you could say the same about Texas Southern. Here's a run, and Nieves just could not quite get it to Kelly Gordon. A really good idea, though.
It was, except Gordon then would have been going 1-on-3 or 1-on-4, so it's not the biggest heartbreak in the world that it got turned away, because it would have left Gordon in a pretty tight spot until the cavalry arrived behind her.
Oh, what a play. This is Gordon. Gordon now on the left foot, serving it across. Right back at her, but Gordon has it back again. Another serve inside, and Brousseau didn't get all of it. Sattler is able to get there, but not one, but two very nice plays by Kelly Gordon to keep this
really
play
great
alive.
work rate here by Gordon. Rather than letting the ball go out of bounds, she reaches around the defender, pokes it back in, and then shakes her with a quick crossover, gets her rebound, and does it again. Finds a pass into the middle for Brousseau, and Brousseau just ran out of real estate as it's swallowed up by Sattler.
Stephen F. Austin gets something going. You see they're even in shots. Leaning into it and scoring right through coat to yard. It's Ava Shannon. Ava Shannon on the board for the first time this season, and Stephen F. Austin makes it 2-1.
Cotillard would love to have that one back because she laid out for it, but she wasn't fully stretched out, and it glances off her hands to go in. But this shot by Shannon, that's 30 yards, and she just tags this ball. Cotillard's going to beat herself up over that one. Sure, that's true. It's regrettable, but at some point you also have to tip your hat to the shooter. Shannon really gave it a ride to cut this deficit in half with 3 minutes left in the first half.
Ava Shannon, one of the top recruits in recent memory for Stephen F. Austin, the previous administration bringing in Shannon. She was the number 125 player in 2023, a 4-star recruit by Top Drawer Soccer. Came right in, started every game for SFA in albeit a very bad year for the Jacks, but obviously she has proven on both ends in this game how up for this level she is. Comes from a soccer family. Her dad, John, played pro and at UMass. Her sis, Danielle, is the starting midfielder at LSU, former teammate of SMU's Haley Hartman. And then you got brothers Matthew and Jack, who have both played MLS Next. And so it's the family business, soccer for the Shannons.
Yeah, clearly. And as you said, she's more than up to the task at this level. And that was a goal that, look, her team absolutely needed it. Going into the locker room down a goal is light years different than going in staring at a 2-goal deficit. Coaches always say 2-0 is the hardest lead to protect, which I get the psychology of it, but it's kind of, it's ridiculous. Obviously, 1 goal is harder to protect than 2, but that was such a huge lift. And to get that boost right before the intermission, terrific shot, terrific goal, and what she gave the Jacks a great lift.
Versatile midfielder Shannon with her 2nd goal of her career. Supporting Lydia Sattler, who's trying to keep her team in it with some good saves. Sattler, in addition to being an excellent keeper, also a 1st-degree black belt in Taekwondo. Is also her team's captain in basketball in high school, where she was an all-league player at Oakwood School. She grew up in California.
All right, if you're an opposing forward or midfielder and you know that the goalkeeper is a Taekwondo black belt, does that make you a little more hesitant to go crash the box looking for greasy goals and dirty rebounds?
Oh, absolutely. Nobody wants a roundhouse kick to the face while she's wearing those babies.
No. Another Mustang took a shot there. I think it was Jen Jackson. Went to the ground and was holding her face. I was wondering if she got bumped in the nose or the eye or something like that. She's now up on her feet and continuing to play out the last few seconds of the half.
Well, it seemed to be all SMU early, but an SFA goal by Ava Shannon has put it in doubt. It is 2-1 at the break.
Yeah, as we said, that goal is not just a goal. It's the lift, the boost that the Jacks need going into intermission.
Great job of getting some of those corners, which they're so dangerous on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Mustangs did feel like they had a fairly comfortable lead. And that goal by Shannon will do one of 2 things. Either it'll jumpstart the SFA offense and keep the Jacks in this and maybe give them a chance to get the equalizer, or it will anger the Mustangs and they will come out and try to rectify the mistakes that led to that, and maybe they are able to stretch the margin again.
The second half, looking at the starting lineup for SMU, no Mackenzie Rudden. Instead, it's Lou Brousseau at that midfield spot. They've also brought in Kelly Gordon at a wing position to start the second half. Meanwhile, you can see how SFA is pressing up top, looking to create an early mistake in the second half for SMU that might lead to an equalizer.
Right, and just, I mean, you can imagine what a boost that would be if they were able to cut the lead in half just a couple minutes before halftime and then come out and get an early equalizer. Then all of a sudden, it's SMU that would be back on its heels a little bit while SFA would be flying.
Ben Williams' team has already erased 1 second-half deficit this season to earn a draw. Tried to do it again, or maybe do one better and pick up their first win of the year. This is going to be a throw-in for the SMU Mustangs. For SMU, they have scored at least 3 in each of their first 3 games. And SMU's going to be forced to move back a little bit. Northwestern State, a 3-0 win. Texas Southern was a 6-0 win. The loss to Texas was 6-3, and we told you how rare it was for an SMU team to score 3 goals and lose. It had not happened in 30 years, since 1994. Meanwhile, for the SFA Jacks, they've opened up with 2 draws to begin the season. A 1-1 match against their old rivals from Sam Houston, and then a 0-0 draw at a Big 12 foe in Houston last time out. And Ben Williams, the head coach at SFA, was extremely pleased with going to Houston and picking up a draw there.
Yeah, you don't often hear people excited about a draw, but again, considering the fact that they fell 5-1 to Houston a year ago, that draw marked an enormous improvement and an enormous progress since a year ago. And you're right, he was very, very proud of his team for getting that result.
And he felt it was deserved as well. Meanwhile, SMU makes a change in goal for the second half, as Haven Empey is out there in goal for the Mustangs, and see how she deals with this SFA attack. A drive in, and it is right into the waiting arms of Empey. Empey played the final 15 minutes of the opener against Northwestern State in her debut as a collegiate soccer player out of American Fork, Utah. She spent some time at BYU after being the 2020 Utah Gatorade Player of the Year. Went on her 18-month mission, her LDS mission. Last year did not play for BYU, but makes her way to SMU, where she is getting an opportunity in a crowded keeper room.
Yeah, you mentioned the Mustangs have 4 goalkeepers this year, and Nicole Nelson and her assistant Matt Cosgriff, who works a lot with the goalkeepers, they really like all 4 of them, which is a wonderful problem to have. I mean, the old saying goes, if you have 2, that means you don't have 1. Well, what does it mean when you have 4?
Right. Well, I think it got a lot of results last year when SMU really had 2 keepers. Now, Sam Estrada was the lead keeper, but they felt very good about their backup last year as well, and felt that she could have been a number 1 too.
Yeah, and the difference there is last year's backup, Tatum Sutherland, was a very different kind of goalkeeper than Sam Estrada. The 4 they have this year.
Ooh, Salama gets it to Gordon, and it's a goal. Eliana Salama continues to cook, and Kelly Gordon makes it 3-1.
It's nice when you can run onto a pass like that and find yourself alone in the box. Beautiful shot, but even better pass by Salama.
I think Eliana Salama is making a case for ACC Offensive Player of the Week.
A pretty good one, too.
Gordon's finish, her 2nd goal of the season. I think that's freshman winger, likes playing with some of these talented passers on this team. Remember, Gordon got a point-blank one-timer opportunity from Emma Alvord as well this season to score her other goal this season, or excuse me, it was from Maura Hummel. But the point remains that Gordon has been set up twice really, really well for her 2 goals this year.
And just like we talked about in the first half with Liz Eddy, you know, a lot of times freshmen will come in, and even if they have a world of talent, they're sort of tentative as they get their feet wet and adjust to the college game and don't want to appear selfish by taking too many shots or whatever it may be. The Mustangs have a couple of freshmen who have stepped in and contributed right away, and it's more than those 2. Lydia Ungashek has been a terrific addition to that midfield. We've had Kelly Gordon, we've had Liz Eddy. It's been a really, really nice class in the early going. Paxton Bach, I didn't mean to leave her out. She's not in the lineup tonight, but she's been really good through the first few games as well.
SMU feels like they'll have Paxton Bach back out next time. A little bit of breathing room for SMU. You know, they say the toughest lead to protect is the 2-goal lead, Steve. He's rolling his eyes.
They do say that,
right
and
now.
I hate that saying.
He said he hated it in the first half. I just wanted the call back for you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. They say that,
With
but you don't
like
agree.
You. Yeah, okay.
Nieves out to Gordon, who just scored the goal, attracting a couple defenders, making a nice run. Gordon stops on it. She's on her left foot, slots it inside. It gets popped into the air and out of danger by Morgan, at least for now. But now here comes Maura Hummel. Hummel pretty strong on it until she's overtaken by Maddie Bowers. SMU still very hungry for what could be a 4th goal here early in the second half.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about a moment ago, right? The SFA goal could either inspire the Jacks to try to go for an equalizer, or it could light a little fire under the Mustangs. And so far, granted we're only 7 minutes into the second half, so far it looks like the latter.
You know, I just said that, you know, hey, maybe Eliana Salama could be Offensive Player of the Week in this league, and she might be. But with 17 teams in the ACC, It's going to be a lot more difficult than it's been for SMU to put players on that superlative list on a week-to-week basis. Obviously not impossible, but you got to really stand out.
And 17 teams includes some of the best teams in the country,
Exactly,
right?
yes.
That's Florida State, that's Stanford, that's North Carolina, that's Duke, that's Virginia. Need I go on?
Florida State's going to win 5-0 every game, and so how do you compete with that? Right,
exactly.
But the point remains, Salama has had an incredible week offensively and certainly has been the player of this match with a goal and 2 assists.
Right, and to your point, a player, Eliana Salama or somebody else, could have a game like this on any night, a goal, a couple of assists, and might never get that award. Because this conference is just loaded with elite talent.
Mora Yumo steps onto this one for a takeaway, and Kelly Gordon makes another run. Gordon feeling it off to Nieves. Nieves goes across and fires, was just a step too late.
It was a beautiful run and pass by Gordon, and then Sammy Nieves gets the cross. Truth Buyers 1 step slow from making it a 4-1 game.
I say that. I think Nieves knew she had to take something off that as well. On the replay, different angle, certainly not on Byers. But again, creative in the final third for SMU. And with at least 3 goals in their first 4 games, SMU is proving to be one of the more dangerous teams in this region. Long ball, testing the keeper once more, but Sattler is off her line to collect as Kelly Gordon was back there to try to split the defenders. Under 36 left to play in the second half.
A little contact away from the ball as Mora Umel and Maddie Bowers got tangled up, and Bowers ended up on the ground. So it'll be a free kick for SFA.
Marking.
Ava Shannon, who has the goal for SFA, ready for the free kick. Headed away. And Umel able to clear it for the SMU Mustangs. Truth Byers, who has a goal in this match. Back to Umel. Looking long. Has it cut off by Stephen F. Austin's Cassidy Wong. Back into SMU possession. So for the Mustangs, the rhythm of playing Thursdays and Sundays continues on Thursday as they host Little Rock. And then back at home next Sunday, a week from tonight, they'll be hosting one of the top teams in the Big 12 in TCU, followed by Baylor on September the 5th.
Yeah, this run of home games is nice, but the level of competition is about to take a jump.
Now Ungershik joining the rush. Feeding Gordon yet again. Gordon with another great move into the box. Gordon still on it. Finally cleared away by Stephen F. Austin. But Gordon is proving to be, another one of these creative players, these freshmen who've got some offensive savvy for SMU.
Yeah, and she's got a little bit of that Salama dribble where she's able to find herself in trouble and then somehow find herself out of trouble on the backside. I'm not saying they are the same player just yet, but she's got a little bit of creativity and like you said, and then she can also just drive right through some people.
Already 2 goals this season for the freshman out of Asheville, North Carolina. This very deep Stephen F. Austin team goes back into the bench, bringing in a player from the area, North Texas region, Caitlin January. Now she's out of Fort Worth, went to Fossil Ridge High School and part of that Defeaters Kicks team as well. So you see SMU making a substitution as they go into their bench at the outside back position, bringing in Jen Jackson for Maura Umel. Here is Eliana Salama. It has been her show tonight. And a throw in for SMU. There's January, part of the 2019 ECNL National Champions with DKSC. Also a three-time first-team All-District player as well when she was with Fossil Ridge High and the Keller ISD.
Mustangs showing a lot of patience now. You're up 2. There's no need to force the issue, and you know we talk about this in almost every game. The more you can switch fields left to right, back and forth, the more you can start to expand the opposing defense. And what that does, of course, is it opens lanes that you can drive or shoot through. And if SFA is going to sit back, we saw early in the second half the Jacks were pressing pretty high, but if SFA is going to sit back, the Mustangs can certainly afford to be very, very patient switching fields like that until an opportunity opens up.
Salama's run and the ball by King results in a corner. SMU is going to go out to the corner and let Salama do some running. And off the end line, she bangs it in. But getting right in the way was SFA. And Avery Brand helps stop Salama's run.
Salama just seems relentless. You know, she has a goal and a couple of assists, and she plays like she wants the ball every minute of every game. And if you're Nicole Nelson, you'd love that attitude. Because, as she's also shown on Truth Byer's goal, she wants the ball, but she wants to score goals more than that. And if that means dropping it to a teammate who's in a better position, she certainly will do that and does it quite well.
It's a takeaway by SFA. And the drive in toward the back post. It dribbles in and past Haven Empey. With a pretty good idea from the drive by Jamie Bailey here, who has scored a fair amount of goals in her career.
Yeah, Empey looked pretty calm on that. You know, sometimes you see goalies sort of scrambling like they're on roller skates when the ball goes across the mouth, but at an angle where it could be close to the post. She was very relaxed, felt very comfortable it was going to go wide.
Reagan Crane, senior in her 4th year out of Prosper for Stephen F. Austin, replaces Jamie Bailey at that right wing position. Under 30 left to play. Certainly looked like it was anybody's game at halftime, with SMU nursing a 2-1 lead and all the numbers starting to even up here in the second half. SMU able to pounce on a goal. Salama feeding one to Kelly Gordon to make it 3-1. Now can SFA grab another goal back to give SMU some pause? But again, SMU does not often lose when scoring 3 goals. Yet another takeaway and a good look for Shannon now out wide. Excuse me, this is Buchanan. Buchanan stops on it. Jackson goes down. Buchanan now on the left, but the drive and it's over the top. That was a really nice take by Brielle Buchanan, and she nearly scored.
She runs into the box, hits the brakes, and Jen Jackson goes sailing past her. And then as Jackson scrambles back, Buchanan crossed her up again, sort of corkscrewed her into the ground almost, and then gets this shot away, and it's high, but not by a whole lot. That ball settles into the top of the netting. Haven Empey got up just to make sure, but really, really nice attempt by Buchanan.
You see that Stephen F. Austin actually leads in shots, 7-6. This is an aggressive offensive team that, or it's not paid a lot of dividends so far for them this season, but they're again a team that works really hard and obviously is giving some great effort early this season. It's paid with a couple of draws against quality opponents, and they're trying to give SMU a challenge. Brielle Buchanan, by the way, while she was playing at Salina, District Midfielder of the Year and part of the Dallas Morning News All-Area First Team, started her career with Abilene Christian. Didn't play much in her first season for the Wildcats. Elected to transfer to Stephen F. Austin. It's going pretty well so far for Buchanan.
Ben Williams and his staff have to be pretty pleased having added her to the line.
This foul will go on Byers. Nieves, one of these captains for SMU, chatting with J.C. Rivera, our center referee in tonight's action. Lydia Sattler coming out of the goal to bang one down. And this one is just over the top of the head, off the top of the head of Maddie Bowers. After her goal in the second half, Kelly Gordon gets a seat and a high five from Nicole Nelson. And it's a freshman for freshman substitution as Liz Eddy is in and Eliana Salama is out as well. Here comes the pressure by Stephen F. Austin. And the Stephen F. Austin fans who have made their short trips from their homes here in North Texas really proud of Maddie Bowers for getting after it defensively.
Yeah, also proud of her was her head coach, Ben Williams, who gave her a loud round of applause there for the hustle and the effort. Didn't get the ball back, but that kind of pressure is the kind that can force an opposing defense into mistakes. And we saw the Jacks did this early in the second half. Then they sat back a little deeper. Now they're trying to apply some more pressure. You know, you're just under 26 minutes left in the second half and you're trailing by 2. You do need to try to push the issue a little bit to try to create some chances.
Jackson with the giveaway, and Brielle Buchanan comes out with it, but Jackson works hard to make sure it's a throw-in instead. SMU going a little bit deeper into their depth at the outside back spots and the center back spots here early in this season because of injury. Buchanan grinding against Alvord, tries to center it, comes up short, and Nieves chips it ahead. Had eyes on Alvord, didn't quite get there though. And SFA is able to nearly turn it into an offensive issue. Lydia Ungashik looking to break out, and Emma Alvord has it stolen back away by Cassidy Wong. Some big transfers for SFA this year. They had multiple transfers from Power 4 programs, including one from Oklahoma State, a couple from Houston. A nice pass by Ungashik. Nieves runs onto it, centers it inside. Ungashik was there, but could not get all of it, arriving just about 6 inches late. Otherwise, that drive might be in the net.
Yeah, it ended up getting saved easily by Sattler, but it was really a nice strike by Ungashik because she ran onto that cross from Nieves and tried to play it off the short hop, which we've talked about before is such a difficult thing to do. When you catch it right on the short hop, you can really, really crush a ball, but it's very difficult to hit it exactly right. The slightest fraction of an inch off center one way or another, and either you'll airmail it over the bar or you'll shank it off one side or the other. And she was just a slight, very, very slight bit off target, so she didn't get the result she wanted. But she struck it pretty well, and she was trying to deliver a shot. Had she timed it better, that would have been in the back of the net.
It's crossed by Reagan Crane, gets routed back by King, and so Crane tees it up in the corner. A test for Haven Empey. Crane serve. Right at the top of the 6. Good job by King on that second ball. Get it out to midfield. SMU head coach Nicole Nelson talked before the game with us about how big it was for balls in the air to win those first two. Here's Bowers. She serves it in. That is dangerous. Nothing but space there for Reagan Crane. But on the bouncer, she was not able to angle it in.
That ball might have been aimed for Cameron Giles, who was coming in toward the left post. It got over her. And then, to your point, Crane at the backside chipped it up and over the bar. Very, very dangerous chance for the Jacks there. Mustangs lucky to come out of that unscathed.
No doubt. Like SMU had something going, but a quick counter by the Jacks. They're going to be difficult to handle in the Southland. It might be a team that struggled so badly in the WAC last year. They might be a team that challenges a program like Lamar or others for the championship. Here's Liz Eddy. Eddy to the end line, deflection right in on goal. Easy play for Sattler. You got a returning keeper in Lydia Sattler. You've got a lot of hungry players who are trying to get last year's bad taste out of their mouth, and some key transfers as well. New coaching staff. There's a lot going their way in Nacogdoches.
Right, and to your point about the hunger, I mean, with new coaching staff, it's a little bit like everybody on the team is a freshman, right? Everybody has a chance to impress Ben Williams and his coaching staff. And that often does lead to an extra jolt of enthusiasm and urgency, and players trying to finish plays rather than, you know, all those times that you might just let the ball run out of bounds. You'll see a little more aggressiveness, a little more persistence as they chase, trying to earn those valuable minutes both this year and going forward.
Interception by one of the goal scorers in Shannon. She feeds Maddie Bowers. Bowers coming in, and Bowers just misses on the backside. Not sure if Hampton got a piece of that one or not, but my goodness, Maddie Bowers just missing, making this a one-goal game.
I don't think Empey got it. I think this was just a hair wide. And it's a beautiful shot right through the wickets, I think, of Abby Hampton. And it does glance off that right goalpost. You couldn't be any closer than that.
The Jacks not going away as we hit a hydration break in Dallas with SMU leading 3-1.
All right, sandworms out of the basement and the furnace has been exercised. Another Progressive home and auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Beetlejuice?
Saying his name 3 times is how you summon him.
Right. What if I say other words in between? Does that restart it?
Don't overthink it.
Or what if I broke it up into 2 parts? Like someone said, what's your favorite bug? Beetle. What's your favorite morning beverage?
You're welcome.
Beetlejuice in theaters September 6th.
This time I use talk, now use that use talk.
And it's in! Historic goal!
I love this game, it's so hard, the one you never ever knew about. I'm on the next level now.
What a strike!
It's so on.
Left footed goal!
When you tell, give me back what you tell.
Maddie Bowers getting a great chance to make it 3-2.
Yeah, she goes on a nice run, gets past a couple of defenders, and then I believe goes right through the wickets of Abby Hampton here as Haven Empey was all the way over on the left side of the cage, and she barely missed cutting this lead down to 1 again, as I believe that ball glanced off the outside of the goalpost.
And if it hits the goalpost squarely, then you've got a running Cameron Giles that's right there for
Exactly.
a quick rebound. This Stephen F. Austin team's not going anywhere. A couple minutes before that chance, Brielle Buchanan had a nice move in the box and barely missed, putting in a goal as well as it just went over the crossbar. So 21 minutes to go, plenty of time for Stephen F. Austin to make an impact. And a lot of these attacks for the Jacks are vertical balls here. They're definitely going up the field and maybe using their depth against a SMU team that's not quite as deep at this point in the season.
Yeah, I think that's true. But to your point, they're down 2, but the Jacks do not look like they think this is anywhere near over. 20 minutes, we've certainly seen teams score 2 goals in 20 minutes before. And they're going to keep pressing, and it looks like they're going to keep pressing high, trying to force that SMU defense into coughing up mistakes that could lead to scoring chances.
Now, could that mean SMU gets an advantageous situation, maybe a big counterattack? We'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when you press high, that means you've left space open behind you. And for a team like SMU, that means a lot of space where you can run through that midfield. And especially a team like SMU, which has some real speed on this roster. You get a Sammy Nieves, an Eliana Salama, an Emma Alvord. They can hit the Jets and, go half the field in the blink of an eye.
Truth Byers called for a foul here. Byers has scored for the second straight game after scoring against Texas. Very similar left-footed shot. She found the upper 90. Lydia Sattler giving up 3 goals tonight. Hasn't really had a chance on any one of them. Good hustle by Jen Jackson to make sure that it's just a throw-in instead of an active cross.
And a lot of the Mustangs were asking for a throw in their direction because they were claiming that the ball deflected off of Alex Bayouth. But the opinion that matters most, meaning that in the orange referee's jersey, didn't agree.
Bayouth has a great throw. Easily reaches the box. And a foul coming here against Ella Morgan for Stephen F. Austin gives SMU the restart with the 3-1 advantage. The precarious 2-goal lead. Coming up next for Stephen F. Austin, they are going back home. On Thursday, they will play UTEP out of Conference USA. Jen Jackson trying to continue the attack. And now Brousseau knocked down with no call. Instead, it's just going to be a throw in here. And SMU getting more Hummel back in the match for Jen Jackson. After the match at home against UTEP, SFA goes on the road. They will play at Florida Atlantic as they go to Boca Raton, and then going to Tulsa to play Oral Roberts on the 8th of September. Stephen F. Austin starts Southland play against returning regular season champions a year ago, Lamar, on the 22nd of September.
And that'll be another really nice measuring stick for Ben Williams and his team. Obviously, they're very pleased with the 2 draws in the first couple of games. They have performed well tonight. Whether they can get a couple to get an equalizer here in 17 minutes remains to be seen. But he talks about how this team is headed in the right direction. Progress is being made. People are taking on new roles and embracing them. But to go head-to-head with last year's conference champ, let's see how you do in that one, and that becomes a really clear indication of how much progress has been made and how much still needs to be made.
Here's a cut in by Kahutek, who gets knocked down. And after Kahutek's advance up the field, SMU actually has to reverse field and get a goal kick out of Haven Empey. Really able to get it up near midfield. Buchanan takes it away. She's been really aggressive. That one just ricochets right off Hartman, but back into the possession of the Jacks. Ava Shannon turns back and looks for more of a chance, and here is one. Right out front for Giles, who gets dispossessed.
I thought that one blast that hit Hartman got her up near the face, but she came out of it no worse for the wear, so I guess not.
It's obvious Buchanan has a cannon. SMU wanted an offsides call. Doesn't come.
Here you see the step over, and then that ball deflected off of Hummel and Hampton. And I think Haven Empey considered just for a second whether one of them had played it back to her, because she was initially hesitant to pick the ball up with her hands and then realized, no, that was just a deflection.
Emma Alvord with a big takeaway. Alvord into space, drives it in. Huge rebound, but cleared away by Ava Shannon.
And if you're Nicole Nelson, you love to see that. Emma Alvord has speed that very few opponents will be able to match. And if she hits the gas like that, now this run isn't the same, but when she hit the gas into the box at an angle where she can crank a shot, that creates a measure of panic in opposing defenses. Sattler was able to get her hands on it, but that was almost self-defense as much as it was saving a shot.
Here's a 2-on-2, Giles against Hartman, and Hartman with a solid play. Like Giles almost run out of steam while Hartman still had the gas.
Here you see Emma Alvord step over and then pushes it past the defender and pulls the trigger right from the top of the 18, and she is at an angle where she could have picked any of the four corners. As it is, she shot the ball pretty directly toward Sattler, who was able to turn it away. But if she picks her corners a little better, we might be looking at a 3-goal margin.
Here's the throw in. Hartman's there again. But it is kept in, at least for now, until Sophie King sends it out near midfield. 14 minutes left. SFA has shown some dangerous moments, even down by 2 goals. And trying to draw first blood against Haven Empey, who came on. There's our first offsides call of the night. And really the Stephen F.
First
Austin,
one of the night?
I believe so. Stephen F. Austin team can't believe it. Coaches can't believe it. Alex Bayouth.
When's the last time you saw a game that went 76 minutes without an offside call?
You're really testing me.
That's just weird.
It is odd. Might have been 30 years ago, back in 1994. The last time SMU gave up or scored 3 goals in a game.
3
and
lost, right.
Sammy Nieves will get back in the match.
And Eliana Salama. So if you're the Jacks and here you are desperately trying to get 2 goals to equalize, now you have Nieves and Salama back and they're rested.
That sounds like a problem.
Yeah, they're a problem when they're tired. And now they've been resting for, I don't know how long, 10, 15 minutes. Got fresh legs.
Salama's already been in on all 3 of the goals, as Maura Hummel is scolded for restarting too quickly. Salama a goal and 2 assists in this one, and everyone's been pretty. Hummel into the corner, and here's Salama trying to make something happen. Salama with that touch, it is scored out. To midfield, long run for Buchanan, and a really nice job by Hata to go ahead and slide down and assure that she got it out of the way of Buchanan before Buchanan could make her long run.
It really was nice. Hata could have slid at the last second and tried to punch it free, but all she was concerned about was slowing that run. So she slid, I don't know, 6-8 yards maybe, and laid out perfectly in front of it.
Another long run for Cameron Giles in the corner. She's able to catch up with this one, see what she can create. Giles dumps it back. Once more, here's Buchanan, but did not get all of this one. And the late rush was just too late by Alex Bayouth as Empey pulls in another one, the former Utah Gatorade Player of the Year in 2020. Angashik. Good ball up the left. Stepping in. Eddie left it behind her. And she has it poked away by Ella Morgan, the junior center defender, with a good play.
If I'm Ben Williams, I'm going to the Morgan house to see if there are any more sisters. Emma and Ella both have been really impressive tonight.
You're double and triple checking that bloodline just to make sure.
Right, exactly.
Can we do a little 23andMe and see if there's, you know, a switched at birth thing going on here or something? Maybe go to the DNA database. 10:15 left. SMU had 2 goals right off the bat tonight. SFA able to hold them at bay until scoring a goal to cut the lead in half late in the first half. No scoring, obviously, for SFA since. So Alvord runs after this one. Alvord, always tough when she's bearing down on you.
And again, that speed just forced that turnover because she was closing in so fast on Sattler. Sattler's only choice was to just punch it as hard as she could, and if it goes out of bounds, so be it.
Nieves has some space. SMU's not going to be ultra aggressive, but if they get an opportunity, there's no doubt they'll try to take advantage and put this game away.
Sure, they'll try to score, but right now that clock is the 12th player on the SMU team.
Salama in jail. Good job by Hummel to not let any wall pass come to fruition with under 9 to play in the second half. And SMU's early season homestand continues on Thursday night. Always free admission at Washburn Soccer and Track Stadium. So if you live in the Dallas area or you're going to be visiting, great night to come out for another doubleheader. Here's a takeaway by Hutek. Sends it outside, and Alex Bayouth may want that one back. Looked like she was caught in between, Steve, whether to shoot it or pass it off.
Yeah, it looked like she didn't decide until the very last second, because she did have Giles off to her right and another teammate coming in at the very far back post, Reagan Crane. And you're right, no man's land is sort of the best description, right? It's, I could shoot, but the closer I get, that's going to cut off angles. And as it is, she ended up taking the shot, but right into the lap of Haven Empey.
Easy save for Empey. Her clean sheet is preserved in the second half. Under 8 minutes left. Salama turns on this one. See what kind of play she can make. It seems like it's electric every time she touches it. Alvord goes middle. Nieves. One touch out to Hata. Here's Salama with some space, but she can't quite reach it. Instead, just electing to send it over the end line is Macy Johnson, over the touch line, I should say.
Right, and Macy Johnson saw number 9 screaming in at her and figured, let's regroup. I want no part of. You don't want to hand the ball to a player like Salama that close to the goal.
And now it will be a corner kick for SMU. And a test for Lydia Sattler.
Short! Short!
Right foot here, right foot here. Right foot here. Right foot here. Got it. Absolutely. Everything away.
Nieves taking an approach on it and does send it into the box. The header over the top by Hartman. 6:22 remaining.
And the structure on that corner kick was pretty well designed play, because they brought Eliana Salama over to give the option of a short corner, and in doing so drew 2 defenders out of the box. 2 SFA defenders came out of the box, and so that automatically freed up some space. Now they weren't able to convert the serve into the middle into a shot on goal, but it did vacate some of the area to create a chance if it got in there.
Some hard work by mainly reserves along the front line, and now SFA goes back to mainly their starting forwards here with under 6 minutes left to play. See if they can create a goal or two against SMU as Jamie Bailey tries to walk this one off. Bailey 4 goals last season, 4 goals in 2022, 3 in 2021. Salama nearly strips it away. Reversing it over to Kahutek. Ava Shannon, who's been one of the most active players on the field, has to turn it back. SFA trying to reverse the field here and see if they can find something up the right side. But Hartman was ready for that run. Talked about how good this SMU team has been offensively early this season. It's the first time in 20 years that the Mustangs have scored at least 3 goals in 4 straight matches.
Yeah, it's been a really nice run.
I don't know if it surprises me that it's been a while, but it hasn't happened in 4 straight matches in 20 years. I mean, that's a long time.
That does seem like a long time, doesn't it?
So this is, you know, may prove to be an interesting SMU team this year, where SMU has certainly been built from the defense back. You know, this year they seem to be a more offensively minded team, and maybe some records or some trends that have been going one way for the last couple decades may end up going by the wayside this season for SMU soccer, just by necessity. Not that Nicole Nelson's not obsessed with defense. She is. There's no doubt.
She is. But also keep in mind, the Mustangs have done this the last 2 times out without Nia Rose, who led the team in the conference in goals a year ago. And this has really been a very nice offensive run for these games.
Tonight's 3 goals scored by 3 different players: Salama, Byers, and Gordon. But Salama also has 2 assists in the match.
We touched on it earlier. She has grown up so much as a player. When she arrived as a freshman, she was someone they would bring in, and she would sort of jitterbug all over the place. And she has quickness. She has technical skill. She could shoot. But she's such a more well-rounded player now, and you see her soccer IQ come out on a game-in, game-out basis. I mean, she's really controlled the flow of play for much of tonight.
Salama with the touch here. Draws 2 defenders and has it taken away as SMU nips back on it. 2:15 left in regulation as Salama has it brought out from behind. Lily Hargrove is called for the foul. Salama goes down to tie her shoe. Doesn't look too worse for the wearer. Seems like just a shoe issue.
Yeah, for a moment she was holding her lower leg or her ankle. And it certainly wasn't anything malicious. It just looks like they got their feet tangled a little bit.
Under 2 minutes left in Dallas. As Salama takes it away and looks to split defenders. Thankfully for SFA, they've got a player there in Aaron Morgan. Foul will be called on King here, I believe. Another local young lady in Avery Brandt, who spent a redshirt year at Missouri before starting her SFA career, but before that, grew up in McKinney and went to Frisco's Independence High School and did her club work at Solar. The developmental academy. Off this short hop, it goes up and over the top, but away from that play, there is a foul on SMU, and there will be a free kick from straight on here for Stephen F. Austin with under a minute left.
And now you see 2 balls brought back out on the field as the Jacks are trying to hurry up, and they're going to have to stop it to get one of them off. But in doing so, we just burned about 30 seconds. This is a very dangerous spot.
Oh, no, for sure. And you see that Ava Shannon's going to take it, and you saw in the first half what an absolute rip she can have. Meanwhile, there has been a yellow card issued to a member of the bench for Stephen F. Austin. It wasn't to the head coach. It looks like it's to Peter Malamba, one of the assistant coaches for SFA. And Malamba picking up the yellow. 46 seconds left. Cassidy Wong wearing number 16 and Ava Shannon number 6. Expect Shannon to take this, though. Yes, it will be Shannon. Shannon's drive is off the keeper again and in. You said it was dangerous, Steve. You're exactly right. And a brace for Ava Shannon for the first time in her career.
And what a beautiful shot. She curls it up and over the wall. Haven Empey, I believe, got a hand on it and knocked it into the goal post. So it was very close to being either saved or deflected wide, but that shot was placed perfectly. Here you see the shot coming, goes up and over the wall. And yeah, Hempy got her hands on it and drove it into the inside of that left goal post. Couple more inches to the right, maybe she grabs it out of the air cleanly. Or if she deflected it a little harder, maybe it goes wide. So as it is, this looks like we're going to end up with a 1-goal margin.
It certainly does with 30 seconds left. The Jacks came to play today on the road. They're going to come up just short to SMU, but not without some excellent effort in this match. And it wasn't just Ava Shannon, but Shannon's the one that gets the 2 goals. And the final 5 seconds. Rock down here in Dallas. SMU starting 3-1 with a 3-2 victory over Stephen F. Austin. SMU scoring at least 3 goals in a match for the 4th consecutive game.